Jessa Ray, I thought you had your whole family sitting there behind you. I was like, man, you got an audience today.
Yeah, I thought I'd just bring them along.
All right, we're gonna go live here, guys. We should be ready to go. We just move this over here. All right, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are tuning in from. David, love that t-shirt. Nika, thank you. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Forgot what I was wearing. All right. I want to thank you all as well for helping out with the YouTube stuff. I see a lot of people commenting, a lot of people liking and sharing the videos. Really greatly appreciate that, helping to get that YouTube video because it is helpful, obviously, for a lot of people to not only learn about crypto or Bitcoin, but hearing the interviews because I'm going to be doing a lot more interviews with a lot more prominent people in the space as well, which is going to not only uh, I wouldn't say legitimize, but there's a lot of people out there very skeptical, and there's a lot of people, obviously, there's still a lot of scams out there, and there's a lot of people that just don't know what to do, and they're getting involved with the wrong things, and so there's a lot of people that need to be educated, and that helps to do that. So I appreciate that. And those of you who do comment and like on these videos, just make sure you send me a DM as well, letting me know. We are putting together a little thing where I'm going to be like sending some stuff out. I can't give you an exact time on it, but stuff like this kind of stuff. Just so you guys know, we do have a store, obviously, in our Crypto Renegades Mastermind. You can go and buy this stuff. We have a lot of members that do, but things like this, hats, t-shirts, things like that. You see us wearing them sometimes, but generally speaking, this is no, we don't market this stuff. This is just for Mastermind members. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, you can go in there. But for those of you who help out with that kind of stuff, we're going to be sending some swag out. So eventually I will be DMing you. In fact, I mean, you could do it now if you want, but I will be responding to everybody who has commented and getting your addresses and things like that. We might already have it in our system, but I might just make sure of that. So thank you for all that, guys and gals. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. Yeah, Rachel, in the Discord, you just go in Discord and just go into, up here, direct messages, or you click on my name anywhere. Anywhere you see a post from me, just click on my name and you can send message from here. All right, so Bitcoin is doing some things. Let me just share the screen here. Let's just take a look. We have this long downward trending channel from the top, basically. We have a couple things going on here. We had this big bullish flag. We dipped out of the bottom and broke out of the top. Went all the way to an all-time high of 124 way up here. Broke the previous all-time high of 123 right here. Came right back down. We did not hold above the 123 at all. Came right back down. Not only did we come through the top, this was not a flag at the time. I mean, this was not a channel at the time. This just happened, and then it fell down and stopped here, bounced again, fell through and retested here, and that's when this line that used to be right here, because this was the extent of the bull flag before it broke out. But once it comes back down, I just keep drawing these. I just keep these lines going out. And it's clear to see that we bounced, broke through, retested, and then dropped back to the bottom of this channel. So extend these lines out, and then they come to this one, which is somewhere in here, we got the 112 right here, right? Boom, 112,000 resistance, resistance. We tested it here. We broke to the top, came back down and hit it again here. Boom, boom. Tried to get back out. Couldn't went above the upward trending, the downward trending resistance line, went above it, but couldn't hold, fell back below. Giant bull flag, not giant, but big bull flag here on the hourly. And instead of breaking to the upside, it dropped like a brick through a wet paper bag, right back down and retested that line again. And then bounced, could not get even back into this channel. And I just keep these lines going sometimes. And what I will do now is I will take a different approach, and I will take a trend line from here, and I will touch. Actually, I won't even do that. I will take it from here. Bring this down because this is starting to look like just a giant falling wedge now. Get rid of this, bring this back over to there, even though it does have some relevance here, but I don't want it to be too confusing. Let me get rid of this, get rid of this. This is a falling wedge, and falling wedges are typically bullish, especially when they're bouncing on major resistance. But here's the major resistance right here. I'm going to change the color. This is major resistance, the red line. And we fell through it, and then we couldn't get back above it. And then we fell lower down here to 108.8, I believe, was the low right here, 108.7. We bounced, and we came back up to the 112, hit resistance again, came down and retested this level again at the 111.5, bounced back up, and that is where we're at. We still have not gotten back through the 112, which we need to do. And that's why in my most recent post, I say like here, BTC break to the upside of the downward trending resistance, still long from last night, but might be a good entry point if it holds above 112.5. It really needed to hold above this level. So it wasn't a signal, it just would be a good. And then BTC came up and bounced on the 112 and the top of the downward trending resistance at the same time. It came up, hit the 112, which is this yellow line, and the downward trending resistance at the exact same point, and then fell back. This line right here, if I bring it all the way to this point right here, that would be what we're looking at right now. And then make sure to tune in tomorrow. BTC needs to get back above 112 and hold as support. If not, we can see lower lows here, still waiting for next best entry. And then this morning, BTC once again breaking above the downward trending resistance and breaking the 112. Will it hold above the 112? Waiting for a retest as support. Tune in today. So this was the latest. It looked like it was going to come above the 112, which is this yellow line. It looked like it. That was an hour ago, hour and a half ago. And here we are. This is all that's happened. It's went above it and then still hasn't. That wick right there went above it and then came back below. It's trying. It's trying. Now this is BTC margin. Let me go to BTC. Let's go to USDT margin because the charts do look a little different over here. Let me get rid of all this crap. Say that we do have more of a resistance here. More straight line. And then we do have this falling wedge here, which it's kind of obvious when you draw the lines. I would say that right here we have 112 that we're trying to get through right now. You might notice that I have a long and a short opened at the same time. I'm hedging right now until it makes up its mind. Obviously, if we break to the upside of the downward trending resistance and hold as support and start to climb higher, I will probably reverse this one. If it cannot get through here and it starts to come down to a lower low, I will reverse this one. Any questions on that?
I see what you're doing, Nico. Do you have a bias, bullish or bearish? And I realize it's just a wash within that range between your
I mean,
flipping.
I would like to see new highs, but I also know what's going on in the world. And I also know that in order for XRP to get to its 20, 30, $40 number, we probably have to see a crash first. We probably have to see Bitcoin crash. We probably have to see some other things happen. There's catalyst. There's thing now, should we be expecting a crash? No, because everything is positive, right? Everything seems to be positive and um all the news and all the good things that are supposedly happening. But with all that being said, why is the price not going up? And it's because whenever you see that happen, whenever you see nothing but good news after good news, and we're still not making new highs, that usually means that um, big players, the whales and stuff, are taking profits. Their market, the sentiment is a little different for them. That kind of indicates kind of a top sometimes of a market. Now, it doesn't mean we're at a top. I'm just saying, because we could go up to 150 and this is all still considered the top, anything over 100. Remember, we were at 15.5 a year and a half ago. So basically 2 years ago. So the end of 2022 going into 2023, we were at 15.5. So we're up 8x, basically 7 to 8x from the bottom of this bull market. And so, I want us to just keep going, but my logical brain tells me that doesn't ever happen. But could this time be different, right? And so if we look at this like this, we could be in an apex, could be coming into an apex here, which we have been in several times. I'll show you. Here was the first one. We were in an apex. We came up to an all-time high. We created this big bull flag. We hit at resistance right here. We broke out, came back and retested it right here, tested the upward trending line, and then wicked down to retest this resistance, pulled out, went up to the next resistance. Here it was, basically right here. This was the apex we were in back here. Hit the top, came all the way down, retested, come back up, and hit the top, creating this bullish flag, very similar to this one, but didn't go all the way to the line. Broke out, new all-time high, and then a double top, new all-time high. And so technically we're in another apex, which would be here. The current one. That was the current one back then. That was the current one then. This is the current one. And I mean, we could go sideways for a while before breaking out, or we could do like we did here. This one didn't go sideways all the way to the line. It just broke out right here. And this one is still in this channel right here. We hit the top, we hit the bottom, we hit the top, we hit the bottom, and then went a little lower to retest this level. And now, what's going on here now? Let's just see. We're trying to get out. We're trying to get out. I mean, we actually came down and retested the 108 right here. 108.5, 109. We retested this line. I mean, that's about what you're asking for. You're asking for a retest of the previous resistance before breakout. Here was the very similar falling wedge that we had here right before we broke out to a new all-time high. Very similar. And we came all the way down and wicked through the line and retested this previous resistance right here. as support. Boom. We broke out. We come up here, we create another bullish flag, downward trending. Very similar to all these other ones, but this one did not go all the way to this line. It just broke out here, retested, broke out, and we're doing the same thing up here. Do we have to come to this line? No, but we have several times, and we could either go sideways to it or we can drop to it down here. Or we can bounce here, climb out, get above, make a new high, and then go, 36.40, and then consolidate back to this line before bouncing out. That's one thing. And then we go to a higher time frame even yet. Maybe this line is only the one going back to like 48K. If I go all the way to bear market bottom territory, then we're not close to this line yet. Still got we got a little further apex going on here. And then that's that part. Now, if we go over to here and we look at it from a much broader scale, if I take this resistance line from here, touch the tops of these wicks and bring this over, it perfectly hits right here when we hit the 108 and then 109 and then 112. Boom. All right. So we got resistance, 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 resistance. Each one of these getting a little higher. Hit 108, then 109, and then 112, a little higher as this resistance continues to go up. And then we just keep bringing this over, and well, we were above it here, and then we were holding it as support, but then we fell below it. So we're back below this line. And so that makes me wonder, was this it? Was this the big bump to the upside? Sometimes I wonder that. We did not hold above that. This was the first time since the last bull market cycle that we actually got above this resistance line. And then we fell back below it. So right now we're below it. So we need to get back above it. Let's go and look at hold on a second. Let me pull up a different chart. Shit, we could be closer than I thought. We come back down to 25K. We wicked down to it here. Hit it here, bounced. And this is the weekly chart. And we could have just one more resistance up here. This apex could be closer than I expected. We may not have to do much. I mean, a big drop down to 104 wouldn't surprise me. Going sideways wouldn't surprise me, and breaking out to the upside wouldn't surprise me. So it's hard for me. That's a crystal ball question, so I can't really tell you what's going to happen. What we do is we react to what's happening. And but any of those things could happen, I guess. I guess it's one of those situations where if this, then that. If this, then that. If we break below the 112 right now and we hold as resistance at 112, we can't get above it, then we could come back down and retest this lower resistance level here. Now I could put this at 108. We already just retested that right there. If you really want to be specific, but this is more of a range, if you ask me. This is like the 108, 109 range, all the way to the 104, 105 range. And we did wick down to the 108 the other day. But that's all it needs. Sometimes that's all it needs. It just needs to touch. Like here, back here, we were in this range. It was the 70K to 74K range. We only actually it was 73.8. 73.8 was the high here. And I was saying back here that we were probably going to retest somewhere between 70K and 73.8, but it came to 74.5. That was it. 74.5 came very close. And then that was it. Bounced right out. So this could be the very close. I mean, it came right down to 108, and that could be it. And it could be ready to bounce. But sometimes we get a double bottom. Sometimes it's not. Like, look how fast this pulled out. I mean, this is the weekly time frame, so it is still possible for this candle to turn green. And we have 4 days and 8 hours left of this candle. So we see this long wick right here. We have a long wick already down to 108. It could be just on its way up. And in the next 4 days, this turns green and we're out. And then it would look like this, and then this, and then this, all the way back up to here, which is the all-time high, 24, 23, 4, 23 to 24. And so I'm waiting for one of those two catalysts to happen. I'm waiting for one of those things to happen. I am in positions right now, but I'm also hedging because I'm not really sure. But it does look like we got a bounce here. It does look like a nice little bounce on the daily. But also keep in mind that even with that bounce,
in this show, as they are dangerous and
very Emish. Very Emish. And if it were to break to the downside, all that would do is bring us basically down just like it did here to retest this upward trending channel line. Somewhere in the 100 to 104 range.
You had the 50 EMA. You're on the daily, right? On the weekly? Because I think it correlates to your support line that you have uptrending. That uptrending support line.
Yeah, I don't have any EMAs on this chart right now, but
Okay.
which one? 50?
The 50, yeah.
On the daily or weekly? We broke through it on the daily. On the weekly, it is coming up at the same time that we could potentially be coming down. But as you can see, we've stayed above it for a while. Did wick down to it here. We could wick down to it here.
Yeah, that's what I kind of watch. Because I notice sometimes when it does wick down or past it, it gets in the kind of
Bounce
iffy
is good.
territory. Yeah.
Unless it falls through. Once it falls through, that's a different story. But as you can see back here, we bounced on it and we double topped up here. We didn't quite make a higher high, and then we come down to it. This is like where we're at right now. We come down to it, and if we can't get out of it, it could suck us down. We did have a double top up here. We had a 123 and then a 124. Here we had a 108 and a 109. Back here we had a 65 and a 68. You know, it's like when you're reaching all-time highs and then you come up and you beat it by just a little bit and then fall back below and you don't hold above it, like right here. This was the all-time high at 65, 64.5 right here. And then we come up and we wick above it all the way to 68, but we never held above it and we just fell right back below. Very similarly here, 108, and we come up and wick above it to 109, but 108, 109. We wicked up and wicked right back down. We did not hold above. And then here, 123, come all the way down here, come back up 124. Wicked above it, but did not hold. Obviously, there's the line. Both of them fell right back down. So, you know, this is the perplexing part of charting, is that you're making decisions based on what ifs, but there's multiple what ifs. So you should not make a decision. You should not pick one of them, one of the possible options, and say, I think this one makes the most sense. What you should do is just wait, sit on your hands, wait to see which one starts to play out. Because if we do drop below 100, which means we break this upward trending resistance, support line right here, and we break through the 50-day moving average here, like we did here. We broke through it here, but we did not hold. We bounced immediately out. As this comes up, if this breaks down and goes below it, literally below it, guys, like this, we wick through it. And if we don't bounce out, but we come below it, that indicates something. This was the beginning of a bear market right here. Now, it's not just the 50-day moving average. There's a lot of other things going on. It's not just that. It is also, you know, you can look at the stochastic RSI, you can look at the regular RSI, and you can see that we had bearish divergence back here, but we also have bearish divergence here. This is just lasting longer. Let me get rid of market cipher, and let me just put that in. Let's go to RSI. We had a high right here at 74K, 73.8. You can see it right here. And then the next high right here was 108. So we went from 74 to 108. This is going up. This is going down. And then the next high right here. And that was 103. 104 went higher in price, but even lower on the RSI. And you see this yellow line right here, guys? That's the moving average. And we broke below it. Just look at every other time on the RSI, on the weekly. And what does that mean? That just means bearish divergence. I'm not making the rules here. This is just what the charts are saying. I'm not saying that it's over and we're going to a bear market. I'm just saying that how many more touch points can we have to the upside? Well, I don't know. It's never done this before. Oh, yeah, it has. In the last bear market, bull market. One time it did that. Look at this. This was the high right here on the RSI. This was the high right here, 42,000. Then the next touch point was lower. Even though we got higher in price, the RSI was lower. And then we went all the way down to 29K and came back up. And the next touch point up here was the next high here, which was a lower high. Bearish divergence. And then the next touch point here, it broke out of this big M, very similar to what we have now. And it did try to get up and make a higher high, but it didn't. It made a lower high, and that was the beginning of the bear market. We just kept going down. So, and we dropped through this moving average. So let's look at the current situation. Price going up. Highs getting lower. on the RSI, bearish divergence. It's clear that it is. But here we've had 3 touch points and 3 higher highs, or 2 higher highs. We had a high, a higher high, and a higher high. Here we only had a high and a higher high. High, lower high. Here we had a high, a higher high, and a higher high, a high, a lower high, and a lower high. So we had 3 touch points here. How many more can there be? I don't know. Never seen this happen before. This goes up to, let's just say this goes up to 140. That would be another higher high on the price. But if this down here doesn't get higher than this, and it just goes like this, and then we go up to 140, and we have another lower high here, that's just a bearish divergence continuance. So how many more times can it do that? This is like all new territory for me and for everyone, because this does not happen normally. Normally, when you have bearish divergence, it's an indication that you're at a top, even here. But it just kept getting higher, and we had more bearish divergence. Could it just keep getting higher and we have more bearish divergence? Yes, I guess it can, because it already did. It already is doing it. So I can't say when the top is in. I haven't yet anyway. But if I look at like the 12-month chart or the 6-month chart, we have 4 months and 5 days left of this candle that we're in. And generally speaking, the 4th candle after the last bull market is the top. So this was the top. This was the top back in 2013. 1, 2, 3, 4. This was the top in 2017. 1, 2, 3, 4. This was the top in 2021. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are in the 4th candle now on the 12-month time frame. So, but we have 4 months and 5 days left. That brings us to January 1st. That brings us to December 31st. And so, does that mean that December 31st will be the top? No, it means whatever the top was of this candle on December 31st was the top. This candle could go down between now and December 31st. The next candle can open, and that would mean 124 was the top. This candle can go up between now and December 31st, and then open a new candle, and that candle could come down. So whatever this one was the top. So at least according to history. So there's people who will see this and agree that that's what happens every time, but does that mean it's going to happen again? This is the problem, because when I was just showing you on the weekly time frame with the bearish divergence, I would have said, and I probably did say, when we went back and looked at the previous bull market top, that we could have tell when it was over, because this was bearish divergence after 2 touch points, and after this one did not make a higher high and couldn't get back above the moving average right here, then that was it. You short it. That's the bear market. Now, if you would have shorted here, that would have been 47K, $20,000 less than the high. So that's why it's hard to call the top, because that candle on the 12-month time frame might have not opened the next one down here, and then the next candle opens here, and you realize this was the top. But you can't know that during the candle, because the candle could still go up and down. So it's hard to know. So all I can say is, in hindsight, it'll be easy to see when the 12-month candle closes in 4 months and 5 days where the top will have been. But it's hard to call the top before that day, because we could have a huge pump to the upside. In other words, this candle on the 12-month time frame, we're still in it, and we will be in this candle for 4 more months. This candle can oscillate up and down, up and down. This candle, look at this one. This was the previous top. It went all the way up to 68K, came all the way back down to 46K before the next candle opened. This would be a good time to short the bull market into the bear market. But this would have been a better time to short it if you would have known. But how would you know? You wouldn't know that until this candle closed. And it closed way down here. Like this one. I mean, the top was 124 right here, and it's already come down to 111 right currently. It can go all the way back up to 180 for all I know between now and December. But if it doesn't get back above 124 and it just keeps dropping and it gets down to the 100 and it breaks the 100 and gets below that, now we have different issues. We can go back down to the daily and look when that happens, or if that happens. then basically that would be us breaking this long trending upward trending support. So if that happens, then yeah, I'll be shorting. It'll be bear market territory. And I won't even be upset about it. It's just is what it is. That's why you guys gotta not hang your hat on any one direction. You gotta be innocuous. Oh, what's the word? You gotta be kind of innocuous. You gotta be like a weasel, almost ready to get down on in dirty at any moment. You could be in a 3-piece suit that costs $2,500, pure silk. You could have just got off your private jet. You gotta be ready to roll up your sleeves and get down into the dirt with the workers. What was that movie with Al Pacino when he was the devil? He was a businessman.
Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate.
That's one of my favorites.
Watch that.
Everything is a test.
Oh my God. That movie gave me chills. That movie was kind of freaky. But yeah, I mean, the guy was a billionaire. He pretty much ran New York City. He was like one of the richest guys around. Everybody, he had everybody in his pocket, but he rode the subway every day with all the, the worst people. He went down into the undergrounds. He was innocuous. He was like a rat. No one would know who he was. No one messed with him, and the people that did mess with him learned really quickly who he was. But point is, guys, you got to be able to not worry about these kinds of things, because if we do happen to be lucky enough to get one more crash and one more dump before Bitcoin goes to $1 million, consider yourself lucky. Unless you're just really old and you just want it to be done with already and go to the moon. And nothing wrong with that either. I mean, if it goes to the moon, it goes to the moon, and it will. But the question is it going to do it now? And if it does, great. I'm ready. I'm long. I'm ready for a next one more pump to the upside. In fact, I can make a good argument as to why it will. One of them is the 1.6 on the Fibonacci. It's always hit it. Every single bull market, it has hit the 1.6 on the Fib. And if it hits it this time, it'll be 176,000 approximately. And it always has. So why wouldn't it this time? Well, because last bull market, it also always hit the 2.3 on the Fib. And the last bull market, it did not. It did hit the 1.6, but it didn't go through that to the 1.3. So is it possible that this time we don't make it to the 1.6? Everything is possible. I never say anything is possible. I say everything is possible. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Marlon. So we have and sometimes, guys, I know, listen, I would love to be trading and showing you entries and exits, but sometimes nothing's happening. Sometimes we're sitting here watching paint dry because the price just isn't moving. If I go down to like the 15-minute chart, I mean, we did look at this, guys. I mean, it hit resistance again at 112.
Yeah, this is fucking gas. I don't need no fucking.
Hey, Johnny, you talking to me? If not, I'm gonna mute you.
I'm muting.
Hey, Nico, could you set limit orders in each direction and then see to try to catch it?
You can, but I never do. And the reason why I don't is because if it hits a limit order when you're not paying attention, imagine if I would have put one here, let's just say hypothetically, I put one at 112.5 because Nico said in this message here, it needs to hold above the 112.5. I said that right here. BTC breaking to the upside of the downward trending resistance. Still long from last night, but might be a good entry point if it holds above the 112.5. So let's say you put a limit order at 112.5 because Nico said as long as it holds above 112.5. And so look at what it did. It wicked up to 112.569. Look at that. 112.569. Wicked right up to it. I said it needs to hold above it. And it triggers your limit order long and then falls back down. Now you're going negative. So I'm hesitant to use them because I like to pay attention to what's going on. I don't want to wake up one morning and be caught off guard that I went long overnight and because I had a limit order and then I'm real negative because of it.
You could still set a stop loss on a limit order.
Yeah, you can do that too. And if you're good at it and you know what you're doing, in fact, there are certainly ways to do it, and there is a reason for them. Obviously, they can be useful. Me personally, I just don't because I'm generally watching a lot. Now, if you're busy and you don't have the time to trade, and big players do it. I mean, they have limit orders. What do you think all this is? What do you think a lot of this is right here? I mean, a lot of this is just longs and shorts. These are people already in positions, and this is their liquidation on the downside. A lot of longs going to get liquidated when we come down to 108, 109 again. A lot of shorts might get liquidated up here at 112. But that doesn't, just because there's a lot of money there, guys, or a lot of people with big trades or big whales, doesn't mean they're smart. Doesn't mean they know what's going to happen. I mean, recently some whales got liquidated for hundreds of millions of dollars. 200 million, I think, one guy. They're taking big gambles with a lot of money. And I'm not sure if it's their money. It might be someone else's money. But that being said, you can do it for sure. But I wouldn't do it right where I think it might hold. I would do it a little bit further up because obviously if it does get above the 112, let's just say this downward trending resistance line. So it would need to get right above 112.5 right here and hold. So let's just say it did that. This is what Nico said. He said 112.5 and hold, bounce on the 112.5 and start to climb. You might have a limit order up here somewhere or up here somewhere. Because once it gets up here and triggers that, then chances are it's definitely holding above the 112.5. Now, it's not going to be as good of an entry as me because I'm watching and I'm going to get in right on the bounce or right here when it breaks the 112.5 and holds. But at least it's something you can set and forget. And it would still be a good entry. I would say, yeah. Dave, yeah, rather sit on my hands and take a bad trade and lose just a trade. This is what a lot of people are doing, guys. And I know it's human nature. We all did it. I did it. I still do it. I'm not going to lie. I still trade a lot more. I overtrade in some of my accounts. I take bigger risks than I should. But I will tell you this, most of the pain and misery is self-inflicted. And probably everything that we do in life. If you feel like crap the next morning and you got a stomach ache, it's self-inflicted probably. You probably ate some shit you shouldn't eat or drank something you shouldn't have drank. If you're fat and you can't bend over to tie your shoelace, it's probably self-inflicted. And I'm not talking down to anybody. There was actually a time in my life. That's what got me to freaking get off my ass and get in shape and lose weight is when I was actually about to pass out from tying my shoe. Because I was cutting off the circulation, the blood to my brain just from bending over. I know that seems ridiculous, but there was a time when I was a little chunky. And so all of it is self-inflicted. So if you overtrade and you're losing money, it's self-inflicted. You're doing something you know you probably shouldn't be doing, but you can't help yourself because you're addicted to the action, or you're chasing trades. You're chasing trades. So we all do it. I mean, you see a runner, you want to jump in, you want to get on the bandwagon with it. But the reality is that's the worst time that you should be jumping on the bandwagon. You should not be trying to catch falling knives or rising rockets. Because if you weren't in before it pumped or dumped, then you probably missed it. And you should just wait for the bounce at that point. And this takes discipline. This just takes understanding that, or it takes discipline, but it takes also doing it a few times and learning your lesson. Sometimes you have to learn your lesson. Sometimes you got to get burned. I say this all the time. You got to touch the stove in order to know why you shouldn't touch the stove. I can tell you all day long not to touch the stove, but until you actually get burned, that's when you really learn the lesson. So I'm patient here, even though I am in some trades. As you see, I'm not, what am I in? I got 3 open positions, all in Bitcoin. I have a long and a short and another short on my coin margin account. And not with, I mean, I got 1,600 on this one, 1,600 on this one, 800 on this one. I'm negative $853 right now. I'm not worried about that, but I am hedging my bet just in case we break out here. And what you say, yeah, but most of your trades are short, Nico. So that must mean you think it's going to go down. No, it did go down. It broke below the 112 and retested and couldn't hold, and it dropped. That's why I was short. But then it bounced here at 108 and starting to come back up to retest the 112 again. So right now I'm still in those shorts, but I actually waited for the breakthrough. Look, I mean, as it was coming down, it bounced, jumped all the way up to the top, wicked through and held on the 112, which is the red line, and then went through and couldn't get back above it, fell all the way down here, couldn't get back above it, fell down here, couldn't get back above it. So to me, it's very weak. It's very weak. I mean, it's at 112 right now, guys, but it's just holding there. It hasn't really broke above it yet. But if it does, I'm happy to go long. I am long in one account. I'm happy to reverse the other position. It's just that I'm not confident in one direction or the other at the moment, to be honest with you, because there's not a lot of buying pressure. Obviously, otherwise it would have bounced out of here quick.
Hey, Nico.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering, you can tell me if this means anything. That if you zoom in on the price action, that railroad one, it started from a low of last week, and that last spike went up to a low of another low of last week. One is from like the 819 and one is from 820. I'm just wondering if that means anything at all. If it spiked right up to the low
here
last weekend. No, where it is currently. Like there's a if you go up one more, yep, the spike, and then right next to it, that railroad, both of them spiked right up to like a low of last week, like each day, like
a lower low, yeah.
Yeah, one was from the 19th and one was from the 20th. They spiked right up to that low of each day last week. Now,
Yeah, you might be talking about some of those. This is the 26th and this is the 27th. So this is yesterday and today.
Right. And when I look back, it was like 819 and 820.
Oh, down. You're talking about the what was support back here becomes here, yeah.
Like last week. So
yeah. If you go back to here on the second, also was support. And then I mean, this is the 112. I mean, this is major support and resistance going all the way back to previously right here, resistance before we broke out. But before this right here, we never been above 112 before this. But back here, we hit it right here. And that was the all-time high. And once we hit that, I mean, we dropped all the way down. First, we dropped down to 100, and then we dropped down even further, all the way down to 98K before finally climbing out. And then, this is the big breakout here. We shoot up to 118, then we shoot up to 123, and then we drop all the way down to 111. I mean, that's a big drop, guys. Let's just see how it is. From 123 down to 111 was almost 10%. An almost 10% drop. Pumping all the way back up to 104. And then once again, dropping all the way back down. To 108. That's a 12, almost 13% drop. Last time we had a 10% drop, we pumped all the way back up to a new high, but barely made a new high. We just went from 123 to 124.5. 124.5. But we are in a downward, we are in a falling wedge, guys, and that is technically bullish, and it is also, but it is under the support. So a falling wedge that already broke below major support and is retesting as resistance is not necessarily good. But let's go back and look one more time as to what happened last time that happened. That was this one here. This was the falling wedge, very bullish, but we never got below support. Now look at this. We wicked down to the support, boom, and bounced way out and got out quick. Imagine here if we would have fell one more time and then went below this support and held as resistance.
Nico, do you have that yellow line right there showing like when it's going to bounce on that yellow line, or is that yellow line irrelevant on the bounce?
I mean, it's upward trending support going back to 25K. And if I put this right where it's supposed to be, it's far away from it, but that could change pretty quickly. Because, I mean, no, there's no telling because right now I'm on the daily. So in a day, could we drop down to $90,000 in a day? Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. I mean, look, I can show you some times when we did something like that right here. When we dropped from 96K down to 77K. And well, this was 1, 2, 3 days. This one right here, we dropped from 58K to 48K. That was a $10,000 drop in one day. Right there, that candle. There's another big one right here. Boom. It happens once in a while. It doesn't look big on here, but that's big. That's a 10% drop in one day, where I'm showing you right now, this whole wedge, it was a 10% drop in 3 months. This whole wedge right here that we're in right now is a 12% drop in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days, 2 weeks. That other one was a 10% drop, $10,000 price drop in one day. So that would be like dropping from 124 to, 108 in a day. So that can happen. Where would that bring us? That would bring us down to, somewhere in this range here. I'm not saying that's going to happen, guys. I mean, I would, if I really felt confident in one direction or the other, I'd be setting you all up with positions. I'd be telling you, okay, this is what you got to do. But until we break this downward trending resistance, and it looks like it's trying, it's still trying, and we do have something positive to talk about here. We do have upward trending support. As you can see, we got a low, a higher low, a higher low. We have upward trending resistance inside of this overall channel. We do have some upward trending something going on here. We have a high, a higher high, and a higher high. This was a long wick to the upside, though, and then a big pullback. That just usually means that the bears are winning. The bulls are trying to get up, and the bears are pulling them back down. We are breaking the 112 again right now. It's trying. We're at 112.077.
Almost looks like our cup.
This little cup right here, or this one?
That one.
This one, yeah. So this is a 1 hour chart, and it does look like a potential cup, which could be. It's hard to say inside of a channel because you can go back and look at, I can probably find a bunch of those. Here's an upside down one. Here's one. Here's one. Here's a little one. Here's one. So it might not mean anything yet, but what I'm What I'm waiting for is either hold above 112 and break out to the upside. Or it's just gonna, now, here's a clue for you guys. Draw the upward trending support line on the 1 hour and just wait. It's either gonna break above or below. It's either gonna break above this downward trending resistance or below this upward trending support. If we break below the upward trending support, where will we go? Where can it go? It could just fall right back down somewhere in here. Why here? Maybe the bottom of the 108, because this is the bottom of the overall downward trending wedge. It just keeps going, technically. Doesn't mean it has to hit it perfectly. But if we go back and just look at some of these other times, like this one, would hit it one more time before bouncing out. If it did, that would bring us all the way down to this channel. Somewhere between, you know, the 107.5 and the 110.5. And we already wicked through it. We already wicked halfway through it all the way to the 108.9. And that might be it. That might be all it needs. And maybe it's ready to break out. So I'm waiting for that. What other coins you want me to analyze, Eddie? Oh, Solana, ETH, Doge, and NEAR. Yes, sir. Let's look. Solana. I mean, the problem is almost everything's correlating with Bitcoin right now. Solana is upward trending. On the daily. Rising wedge. Coming up to resistance. Possibly even a triple top. So we have right here, resistance, 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 and we are hitting that right now. And if we take that back, you'll see we had resistance here after we broke through. Support, breakthrough, resistance, resistance, drop. Coming back up to that level right here. This was before we dropped. We're at the level now that we dropped from. Take this back a little further. We got resistance. And I'm support rather, and support. Oh, well, look at this. And resistance. So we're coming up to a major support and resistance level. Resistance. We break through here, support, 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 break through here. Support, break through here, resistance, resistance. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Is it going to get through this time? That's Solana. Let's look at ETH. ETH looking very similar to Bitcoin. But ETH has definitely broke out, made some higher highs recently. Let's go to the lower time frame. They all have this double top drop and little upward trending channel right now. This could be positive, but what are we coming up to here? Resistance. You had resistance, support, support, resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance. We're winding into an apex. Guys, this is a trade setup right here. Go to ETH, put your horizontal resistance line at 46,666 or 46,66, 46,666. Put your upward trending support from the bottom here at the most recent bottom. This is the hourly time frame from August 25th right here when it was 43.20 and just touch the bottoms all the way up and connect right to that horizontal resistance line. And what you have here is a very tight apex we're winding into. So really only two things can happen. We break to the downside and we stay in this channel. Bounce. Or it's time. We break to the outside. We start to climb up and we come back up to this channel line here from the previous high. That would be the next resistance. We could stay in this apex. Could just make a new apex. It's got to break this one first. Doge. Hell, we got some weird drawings on this one. Well, we were in a big cup. Might still be in it. We do have another apex here on Dogecoin. I would just draw this like this. This is an apex, obviously, where the ceiling meets the floor. We got a rising floor and a lowering ceiling. We're having lower highs and higher lows all coming to an apex. Guys, this is actually good news because you got Solana, ETH, and Doge so far, all imminent, all in trade setups, all imminently going to break out one way or the other, including Bitcoin. So let's look at near. Something. Looks like another apex on near. I'm on the hourly. Couple times we wick below, but obviously we held support, 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 wick below, support, breakthrough, resistance, breakthrough, support. D Drago, is that a W it's making? Are we talking about this right here on near? I don't know. I guess it depends on how you look at it. Could be an M. Could be a W. Yeah, it's hard to predict on this one. Let's go to a higher time frame and see if I were to, I mean, if you had a gun to my head and asked me, which way do I think it's going to break out? What do you think my answer would be based on this bigger view?
Up.
And this thing already had a big M. But we have lower highs and lower lows. The whole thing is downward trending. I mean, it's bouncing and going up, bouncing, but bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. So it certainly could go up, but will it make a higher high? Maybe, maybe not, maybe. It's had 1, 2, 3 touch points at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or so on the bottom, downward trending, and this right here, this previous resistance was support here, resistance, 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 ironically, right in the middle of the apex. So let's go back to the lower time frame, see what that looks like. Get rid of some of the stuff. I mean, we did have resistance, support, support right in the middle. Resistance, support, support, resistance, support. I mean, it's wishy-washy here, back up. So yeah, I mean, it could be a long right now up to this. I would be ready to get out. If it wicks above this or it just hits this, I would be ready, but only stay in if it breaks to the top and continues up. Otherwise, I would just wait for a breakout of the overall apex. Because I mean, this is the hourly time frame. So by the time it gets, if it were to go all the way to the end here, that would take a while. That would take a couple weeks. But generally speaking, apexes usually break out 70% of the way, which I think we're over past 70% of the way. So I would say sometime by the end of this week. September 1st is right about here. So Eddie, I don't know if that answers your question. To me, it is bouncing on the bottom of upward trending support, but it would need to break out of this for me to be long on it. But I mean, you could do a scalp long from where it's at right now and try to catch it up to here. But is there, is it almost time to break to the bottom? I mean, it couldn't hold support here, it bounced. It went through here, came back above. Is it trying to get through the bottom? If it does, would I be surprised? No, because all that would happen is we come back down in the same downward trending channel that we've been in after hitting the top twice with a big M pattern. And by the way, guys, just because I just showed you the technical analysis on this one doesn't mean I'm right or that anything I say will actually happen. But that's that's how I look at it and that's how I see it. So I'm not jumping, excitement until one of these things happen. When it breaks out, it would be better for you to wait for this to happen or this to happen, in my opinion. Unless you know how to scalp and you're good at scalping, you could certainly go long right here, try to catch a scalp up to the center line here, put your tight stop loss here, just in case it breaks back below. Ryan asks, hey, Nico, how do you gauge your max take profit targets on these breakouts outside keeping an eye on those resistance levels. If this were to break out here, the first thing I would do is I would draw a resistance line at the next possible resistance level, which would be right here. We have resistance, resistance. I would look at that. I would go back, see how far that goes back. We got some resistance there, and we got some resistance here. That. And we have more here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. So even if we break out here, that's probably where it's going to go. So I would put a TP before that. I would front run the TP on this one to $3. And that doesn't mean it's going to hit the TP. So what I would do is I would put my TP up here at $3. I want it to be before that line because I think it might go to that line, but I also want to make sure the TP gets hit. But also if I went long now and it went all the way up and did this and got close to it up here, you guys don't have to wait for the TP to get hit. You can just close that trade out and take the profit and wait. Now you might say, well, why not just let it go in case it breaks through? Because you can do that and just move your stop loss up. Your stop loss is down here. It gets above here. You move your stop loss to here. It gets all the way up to here. You move your stop loss right up here. That way, in case it goes right through and holds a support, you want to stay in this long. But if it bounces and comes back down, you're going to be taken out. Want to hit your stop loss. Stop being greedy. Stop trying to stay in and try to squeeze every dollar out, because that's what you give a lot of dollars back doing that. And I'm just less risk averse. I'm more, what is it? Risk averse. I'm more risk averse when we're nearing the tops, or what could be the tops going into the home stretch of a bull market. I'm taking less. I'm not eager to just trade all day or jump into a bunch of these little moves. There's a lot going on. Most of these things correlate with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the tide that rises all boats in most cases. So I like to sit on my hands more and wait. I know it's a little boring, especially for some of you who just came in or you're new, but trust me, waiting for the proper trade setup is more lucrative and smarter than just trying to jump in and try to trade. So let me look at this one. WLFI, WLF. I don't know what that is, Victoria. Is that on Coinbase? I mean, on Phemex?
Is that World Liberty Financial? Is that what she's saying? Came out?
Oh. I don't see it. It's on Phemex, you said, Victoria? I don't see it. Unless you got the abbreviations wrong.
No, it is World Liberty Financial, but I saw on Instagram somebody said it came out, but I didn't know if it's on Phemex or not yet.
Well, is this WLF or WIF? I don't know. This is probably not it, because this one's been around for a while. This might just be with. Yeah, this is WIF.
I don't think it's on Phemex yet, maybe. It's WLFI.
Yeah, it's not. Let me go back and look at some other chart and see where it's at. WLF. World Liberty, yeah, WLFI. I mean, you can buy it on like, in your Coinbase wallet. You can't do it on Coinbase, but holy cow. I mean, they're showing. And I'll show you. I'm going to share my screen here. Seems like it's been out for a while. Is this, I don't know if this is the same one. World Liberty, WLFI. There's a few of them.
When Lambo.
I know, when Lambo Financial. World Liberty Finance, there's a couple WLFIs. Usually it's the first one, but it's 305,000 market cap. That doesn't sound right. This one might be at 13 million market cap. But this looks like it's been out for a while. Since 2024. Well, World Liberty existed before Trump, didn't it? Didn't he join forces with somebody? Says it's up 56% this month, whatever this one is. Back here, it went up to,
Nico, do you know anything about the perk market?
no.
Okay, because that's what this guy said. It's on the perk market. It's not going to be out until September 1st.
I don't know. I don't trust any of that shit. And Trump, I mean, just because Trump's name's on it doesn't mean anything. You guys remember what happened to the Trump token and the Melania token and all the other ones? Anybody make any money on those? I mean, someone did, but anybody here?
Me and Gable jumped in on that when it was first released and had quite a good long. And then right after we got out of it, it went to crap.
Yeah, if you were in right when it launched, that was a different story, but that could have been good. Could have been good.
I held Melania way too long.
You held long too long?
Oh, Melania.
Oh, Melania, yeah. Kanye West launched a token, went to like a $3 billion or $1 billion market cap like overnight. Andrew Tate shorted it. He lost $1 million trying to short it. He shorted it as soon as it launched and it went up instead of down. It's highly speculative, guys. You got to know what you're doing. You got to be willing to take those losses on those pump and dumps. So Bill just posted in the chat, WLFI is scheduled to become tradable and transferable on September 1st. So we got a few days left for that. Thank you, Bill. Michael says he made a few hundred on Trump. Cindy made 400 in and out on Trump. Yeah, I mean, I mean, there was people in this group trading it when it first launched, but it dumped pretty quickly. Let's go back a little bit. Trump. This was the big pump and dump. Went up 340% at launch, and then that was it. If you would have shorted this big spike up, though, you would have done really good. Never recovered yet. Downward trending. Still. Breaking to the downside of the breaking to the downside of the support.
Did they ever say they had any kind of plan for those coins, or was it just a pump and dump?
I have no idea.
Straight rug pull.
Yeah, it's strange. Very strange. My mother, my mother sends me, oh, what do you think about this coin? I'm like, where'd you hear about it? Oh, some YouTube channel. I'm like, Mom, stay away from that shit. She's 84. She likes Trump, but and I'm like, you do realize that there's a lot of things that Trump promotes is to raise funds for something, but it's not necessarily a winner long term. I like Trump as the president. I like the policies and things like that. I like what he's doing, cleaning up the homeless and all these things. There's some people out there that say, "Oh, these poor people." Now these people are thankful and grateful for what's happening. They're being taken care of finally. But will I buy Trump steaks or Trump vodka? No, hell no. Trump cologne? No. Trump meme token? No.
The Trump toupee. That'd be a good one.
I do have stock in the stock market because for his publicly traded company, but that's a little different because there's a different market cap there than the meme tokens. All right, guys. So we are coming up to 1:30. See, there's not much action here today, but I will tell you this. It does look, if we come back from here, that we are pushing. I mean, we did drop. There's a couple ways to look at this. Let me just. There's upward trending support from more recent time right here when we were at 48K, we had resistance, and then that's when we kind of broke out right here. And then there's this longer running one all the way down to 25K. But if I really took a really closer one from this level right here, which is the 74K, we already broke below. We hit it, bounced, all-time high, hit it, bounced, all-time high, and broke below that already, and retested. Broke, hit it, support, broke below, retested as resistance. So in the first of the upward trending supports, this one coming back from 75K, 74K, we did break below that. And we bounced here and support at the 112, bounced, went all the way up and retested underneath of it, and then fell back below, hit 112, fell below, retesting 112 as resistance now. I mean, it does appear that we're climbing above 112 right now, but let's just see how much. Why does this look like it's, oh, that's a line, that's why. We've been here a couple times. Try to break through, try to break through. Is it just trying to break through? Is it gonna break through? Remember, I told you we had this downward trending resistance, upward trending support, possibly breaking through, finally. Breaking through the 112 resistance and the downward trending resistance at the same time right here, hitting it both at the same time. So it's either going to do that, get above it, or it's not gonna be able to get above it. It's gonna come back down and do one of these jobs. But this is where you guys got to be patient because you might make a decision based on what you're seeing right now. And this is where you guys get faked out sometimes. Well, we get faked out. We think it's going to do something. It wants you to. It wants you to think it's going to do something. And then it says, ha ha. Psych. Better to be safe than sorry. You don't need to have have an entry that's $100 better. Better to wait for confirmation. What is confirmation? It needs to go through and hold a support and then start to climb higher than where it went through.
Nico, when you talk about it supporting, are we watching it on the 15-minute to do that, or are we watching it on a different time frame?
I mean, I'm on the 15-minute, but the support is the 112. So it doesn't matter what chart is. But if you're on a higher time frame, you're going to see, you won't see whether it's holding or not necessarily. If you're on the hourly or the daily, it'll just look like one candle. And maybe on the 10 or the 15-minute, it will have already come down and bounced. But I would say it needs to hold on the above 112 on the daily. So it needs to stay above it for a whole day. So if you might see on the 10-minute or the 15-minute chart, it may go like this and then bounce and then dribble and dribble and dribble all day long and then fall. But on the daily, it just looks like one candle that went up and went down. Right? So I would say that the higher the time frame that it holds, the stronger. Right now, I'm just on the 15-minute because I want you to see the actual move, what's happening. But it did it here. It wicked up and came back down. Is it just going to wick? I mean, it's having a hard time, guys, obviously. Otherwise, we'd be shooting up. It's just, there's just no buying pressure. And we got resistance here. We came all the way down to here. We came all the way up to here. We come down again. I mean, it's like, it's really trying. Now it looks like it's might do it. It looks like it might get through. Let's see. Where is the liquidity at? There's a little bit above us right here at 112.5. Actually, if you remember, I said still long from last night, but might be a good entry point if it holds above 112.5. So I'm not even saying 112. I'm saying 112.5. Why? Because that's where it wicked up to here. And it could go all the way up to 112.5 and fall back down just like it did here. So I would say that it should probably get above 112.5 and hold that as support. If it can hold this resistance as support, then that is an indication that we are breaking out to the upside. Not only the downward trending resistance, but this 112 level. Does that make sense? Make more sense?
Nico, may I ask an XRP question?
I heard someone say something, but I can't hear you. So you're gonna have to speak into your microphone.
I'm just wondering if I can make an XRP question.
Yep. Hey, Steve.
Hi. So I hate beating horses here, dead or alive, but on XRP on the 1 day, is that is a large cup and handle that I'm seeing?
Oh, what time frame? This whole
On
thing?
the 1 day, 1 day. Daily. It's just that the bold part is so irregular. It's like I want to put it together, but you know, the closer in I get, it looks like a cup and handle.
It could be. I mean, we did break above. I mean, we had major resistance here. We broke above it, but we went higher on this side than this side. But it is kind of forming this giant this bullish flag, which could be the handle of the cup. If you're looking at this whole thing, is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But either way, it is a bull flag coming up against support. And I have this red line here as the possible breakout. And that would bring us up to $4.50. And if I take this and move it to here, same distance. If it's a cup or just a bull flag, if we break out, we could see 450 up here.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Thanks
Yes,
for that.
sir. Yes. Sharon, what about SUSD. Did you say sushi or SUSD? I don't know what you're asking. SUSD1? Oh, what do you tell? USD1? I don't even know.
The
Well,
Trump stable coin, supposedly.
Oh, sorry. I mean,
It's a stable coin. It's dollar for dollar. People ask about the stable coins. If you have a lot of money, you can arbitrage them because they vary in price subtly, but it'll be a dollar for a dollar if it's a stable coin. It's not an investment necessarily.
Yep. I don't listen. Trump might have some grandiose ego going on where he thinks that he's going to make a dollar with his own picture on it or something, or create a coin that's going to be revolutionizing the world, and wants his name on it. But I don't know. I don't see that happening. I think it's got to be more benign, more. I mean, he's trying to get rid of the Federal Reserve, trying to get rid of IRS, but what's he going to call it? Trump? Well, USD1 might be a good name.
So I read or I listened to a podcast that was talking about how the future is going to be a bunch of different stable coins. Everybody's going to have like their own stable coin. It's going to be one-to-one, right? And everybody everybody will just, that will be the new US dollar. It'll be a bunch of different stable coins that interact with each other, that you can somehow, I don't know how it's going to work. I'm not an architect.
Well, it'll work just like Forex. We got USD against British pound sterling against euro, except for there'll be coins, stable coins instead of paper dollars. Probably the same as it is now. The only difference is we're going from a ledger, a Swift network and an archaic banking system that requires a lot of levers to be pulled and a lot of transactions to happen. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you write a paper check to somebody, it has to clear a Federal Reserve Bank. Your check, let's say you write a check I mean, most people don't write checks anymore, but let's say you wrote a check to the grocery store for your groceries. You go home with your groceries. You think that transaction's done. That bank, that grocery store then deposits the check in their bank account. That bank that they bank at takes all those deposited checks, the physical paper checks, and sends them to the Federal Reserve branch that correlates with that state. So if you're in Florida, for instance, there's certain Federal Reserve banks that have to do all the transactions and all of the consolidating and settlements. So your check will eventually be, literally get to a Federal Reserve Bank before it actually clears. And all of that is so stupid and so time wasting and so time consuming and so nonsensical that crypto really does solve the problem on the blockchain and makes all these transactions instantly on a ledger that is infallible. It cannot be manipulated. And it's instant, technically instant, depending on which blockchain we use. But so it is going to go to that. Crypto is revolutionizing the world. Things are changing, but it's a slow, painful process to get over this whole thing and to make it so that it's seamless. And they can't just go jump on USDT or USDC because those are companies that own those, that created those. USDC is Coinbase's stable coin. So maybe Trump will create a USD1. It'll be a federal stable coin, right? But maybe a real federal instead of fake Federal Reserve, which has nothing to do with the federal. I think, from what I heard, he's, trying to get rid of the Federal Reserve, and maybe he already did. I don't know. Taxes are next. but I don't know if this is good or not. It is kind of scary because, when you've been alive a long time, several decades, many decades, you get used to something. You get used to paper dollars. It's kind of nice going to the ATM machine and having cash in your pocket. But is the change that's going to happen better or worse? I don't know. New people growing up in the after the year 2000 may not even recognize the difference and may not even care. Those of us who are a little older, we don't like change. We like, cash is kind of private. You can do transactions without anybody knowing about it. But unfortunately, things change over time, and I think that might be going away. But I'm not going to speculate on Trump's coins right now or Haktua coin. I'm not going to. Our market cap is down to 143,000. Wow. Sharon, what do you make of the sudden interest in Ethereum? It's the blockchain. Almost all the other coins that do have good utility operate on the Ethereum blockchain. I don't know why ETH can't get their act together. Yeah, there's more to it than that. I just I don't have all the answers. I'm not studying all that. As far as have you ever seen the founder of Ethereum speak? He's probably the most socially awkward person I've ever seen. You want to trust him with all your wealth? Guys, the basics call is starting at 2 p.m. Eastern. Bill posted the link in the chat, in the Zoom chat, and also in the Discord group. Under trade chat, there it is right there. Under announcements, there it is right there. So there's no reason for you to miss that. I highly recommend you guys get on the basics call. A lot goes on in there. It's very helpful for new people and not so new people alike. There's a lot of things you probably will learn that I don't even talk about because we're past the basics sometimes on these calls. Also, I want to thank you guys for all the love on the YouTube channel. I know I said that earlier, but the reason why I do it like this and I have you guys go to YouTube and search yourself rather than I could just put a direct link to the video, but then it shows as a outside source. It shows that, let me just go to the studio. You'll see what I'm talking about here. Just in total transparency. If I go to video analytics, it will show here how people find it. And YouTube likes people to find it on YouTube. Now, don't get me wrong, sharing is good. Sharing links shows that there's interest and enough interest for people to share it. But let me go and find something here. I'm going to show you. So as you can see up here, it's showing top traffic source, YouTube search, 37%. Browse feature, 23%. Browse on YouTube. And then if I go to see more, all right, this looks different up here than normal. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to is that the list goes all the way down to external. Well, here it is, external, 14%. External is if I just shared you the link. So we like the majority of the traffic to come from up here. And then that just causes YouTube to share it more. Oh, here it is down here, YouTube search. So it's just helpful if you go find it yourself. That's why I suggest you do that. I'm not being lazy or I'm not trying to make it hard for you, but so that's all good. And because of that, it's 1 of 10. That's good. That means that it's the top performing video out of the last 10 that I shared. So I appreciate that. Trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, guys, because that's the magic number for YouTube before they start really sharing you more. And so once we get up there, then it'll automatically start going out to a lot more people. So I definitely appreciate your help for that whenever I do that. If you guys need anybody, if you have your own YouTube channels or anything like that that you're trying to promote, don't post it in the main chat. But if you want, I personally will go and like and comment on your YouTubes. I'll be happy to do that. You can send me a link in the DM or something like that. We're not here to promote other businesses. Obviously, this is the Crypto Renegades, so I'm sharing the Crypto Renegades related stuff. But if you have a personal YouTube channel or something you would like me to also like and comment, feel free to send it to me in the DM. I'll be happy to reciprocate. Thank you, Sunnyville. Sun. I know I keep calling you Sunnyville. Sun Evil. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate you. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Didrago. Yeah, the founder of ETH is like, he's a little strange dude. But I mean, he's a genius, but it's still, he's very awkward. And I'm not so sure I want to have all my assets in that asset class. I do have some ETH, not many of them, but I do have some, and I am accumulating it because of the blockchain technology behind it, which a lot of other cryptos operate on the Ethereum mainnet. And so those other cryptos do good, Ethereum goes up in value as well. Yeah, you can stake ETH. And also not only that, but another reason why a lot of whales and a lot of money moves into ETH is because, guys, they think it's altcoin season and Bitcoin's dominance is over. And that's what happens. Bitcoin starts to slow down. Other things start to take off. They move their money from Bitcoin into these other things. Even though $1 billion goes into Bitcoin, new people are buying Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's price doesn't go anywhere. You're wondering why. It's because people are moving out of Bitcoin into other things. That doesn't mean Bitcoin's going to drop back down to low numbers. It just means it may not go up higher, much higher. It can go to 130, 140, 150. But then altcoin season takes off and Ethereum goes to, 10,000. All right, so basically on XRP, we are still also in a downward trending overall bullish flag. So it could be holding a support here at the $3 range, which is a very important number. We've dipped below it a couple times, came back above it, and we are holding above it right now and creating a little bit of a U shape, which usually indicates, support. But where is it going to go? Is it just going to go up and hit this line right here and stay inside this downward trending channel for a little longer? I don't know. It needs to break out of here, guys. So this is what I'm waiting for ETH. I'm waiting for a breakout above the $3 range back up. I'm sorry. This is XRP I'm talking about. I'm waiting for it to break above the $3 range here and hold the support. And mainly I'm also focused on Bitcoin. No problem, Bill. And Bitcoin is in this strange downward trending. Falling wedge with an upward trending support, possibly trying to break out here. And it's having a little rough time doing it. It looks like it might be holding a support above that line. I am on the 15-minute time frame. We did, like right here, we wicked up. As you can see, we wicked up and came back below. Here, we went up and then held a candle above it. So far, it is holding a support at the 112 so far. Was resistance, and it's holding above it right now. I would say that we need to hold it above it on the hourly. So what we'll see here is over the next hour, if it gets all the way up to here and kind of breaks this previous high right here and then kind of holds above that, that would be strong. I'm still sticking to my 112.5. 112,500 needs to hold above that. It's at 112,288, 290 right now. Does look like it's starting to climb up. It did break the downward trending resistance and the 112 right now. But I am also already long here. I'm up $50 on the long position, but I am going negative on the shorts.
Hey, Nico.
Yeah, guys, hold on, Zach. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier in this call. We'll be sending out some swag. Send me a DM. I think you probably already did, but just send me a DM. I will be going through the DMs, and then it may not be right away, guys. We're trying to do a lot of stuff right now, but I'm gonna put a list together of everybody who has helped out and get something sent out. Or what I'll probably eventually do, guys, because it might be a little difficult for me to individually, personally mail every person, is that I will put a discount code on the store. I'll put a discount code on the store. Whereas you go to the store, I'll send you the link. You go to the store and you get a one-time use code where you get something for free. And you just order it yourself, put your address in, and have it shipped directly from the manufacturer. Because I don't make those, and I don't have a bunch of hats sitting in my office. I order them to made to ship directly to you when I order them. If that makes sense. But we should be able to put a discount code on the actual website so that when you go to it, you can just have a one-time use and pick something under a certain price range. But we will get that straightened out. So yeah, go ahead. Someone was going to mention something.
Oh yeah, this the switch over to ETH, was that just in the last bull run, or was that in 2017 also, or was it like just a switch over to altcoins? How did that happen? When did the ETH?
Yeah, I would get on Bill's basics call or ask Bill for that. Bill and Chad definitely keeping track of the altcoins more. Chad was very big into Ethereum back in 2021 and the last bull market all the way up to 2024. And he had a Ethereum mining operation. So he probably knows more about that. If I go to ETH and just look on the weekly, we can go back and see. We've been in a going back to 2024 over a year now, major resistance that we did finally just break out of. So I would say no. We hit it, come down, hit it, had a widening lower lows and a ceiling here, and we finally broke through that here. So this is over the last year. This is the first time we actually had this big breakout. These are all-time highs for Ethereum.
Okay, yeah. I just wondering if it happened last 2017 also too, but okay.
Yeah, this I can't go back that far here, but back here in 2022 we were way down lower, but it might have. I can
Gotcha.
I can look on a different chart and see real quick. Let's go to back in 2021. Yeah, back in 2018, we had a nice big pump up to $1,000, and we dropped all the way back down to $133. We pumped up 10x and then dropped back down and then went.
Can you show your screen?
No, I can't because I'm on my portfolio.
Gotcha. Thanks.
I mean, yeah, I can do a screenshot. Hold on a second. Let me just do a screenshot. All right. So we look back here, this is like 2018 and then 2021. And now here we are here. So we've had these big run-ups in bull markets and then coming all the way back down, big run up. It's not all the way back down, but as you can see here, this one we came back down to $1. And I can't, this is just a screenshot, so I can't show you the numbers changing here, but yeah, this is like $130 here. This is like $1,000 here. So it went up 10x and came back down 10x. And then here is, oh shit, I can't remember. I That was 4,700 back in 2021. Actually, oh shit, it did get up that high. It got up to 4,730. So yeah, we just broke. This is the first time. This is the first time we broke out of that. So that price that I was just showing you here, guys. We got up to 4,000 back here in 24. This is 4,730 right here. One of these wicks. 49.53 right now. Still all-time high up here. So to me, this is the final, this is where it's finally breaking out. Somewhere back here, we were, I can't remember where, maybe right here, we were up a little higher, and then we come all the way down and back up. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Get ready for the call coming up here in 10 minutes with Bill. It's the basics call. It is Wednesday. Tomorrow, guys, by the way, we are obviously going to have our normal live webinar. So you do have an extra. If you guys want to get on that, you're welcome to. If any of you want to give any testimonials or, be called out, feel free to message me, either me or Chad. We'll send the link in the free Facebook group. We post the link for tomorrow's webinar. It's not going to be as long as normal. We're going to try to cut it short. We're going to try to cut the webinar down a little bit. Sometimes we're on there 3 or 4 hours answering questions and just going on and on and on. But with that being said.
Hey, Nico, real quick, this is Amy. You
Yes,
were
ma'am.
mentioning earlier about the DMs, and when you check those, can you see, I sent you a friend request a while back, and I don't know if you saw it, but it hasn't been accepted yet, just to make sure that I can send you a DM.
Amy. Oh, wow.
I can send another one if you don't see it, but
Do you call yourself Amy on Discord as well?
I think so. Let me look.
I don't see any Amy's, but I have accepted friend requests from Amy's. I have it in.
That was Sean. Sean, if you don't mind, brother.
I'm accepting all the friend requests. I have a few of them. Sometimes they get ahead of me.
Yeah, I'll check it and make sure. If not, I'll send you another one, but it should be just my name, Amy Campbell, I believe.
Hold on a second. I just accepted all the friend requests I had, but I thought I had an Amy already message me, but I don't see it. So send me another one.
Looks like the same on mine too, Nico.
Yeah, I just sent another one.
It just says friend request sent. It doesn't say
I think
accepted or not.
Cody, is that Cody? I just accepted.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let me check.
I don't know if it was you or not. Cody Neal.
No, Cody Peart. Or Cody J, it looks like on, well, that's what it is on.
I see it on Zoom, Cody J, but I only had a Cody, just Cody.
Yeah, Bitcoin Cody, I think is what it is on.
Ah, okay. Well, if there's a name before Cody, then I was looking for Cody. So let me go back. I mean, I got hundreds, so guys, so it's taking me a minute, and I don't want to tie you all up, but I'll yeah, just send me a message. Now that I've accepted all the friend requests that there were, you can send me a DM, but
I just sent you another one too, so
lot of
hopefully it comes through.
a lot of people are just saying that they commented on Facebook, and you just sent another one.
Yeah, it shows I did.
You might be sending to the wrong Nico, because they're actually,
Oh.
I do actually have two accounts. So
That could be.
go into the main chat or go into the Signal channel and click on my name there. That's
Okay.
But if you just
That
search
could-
Nico, you might find two of them.
Yeah, that could be.
All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. It's 2 minutes to the top of the hour. It's 2 o'clock. Get on the basics call. I'm going to keep an eye on everything. Obviously, I think we're still at 112.2, 112.3. It's trying. It's a trying to get up there, but I would say that it needs to get above 112.5 and hold as support. But I will let you know, and I will let you know if I'm reversing any of these shorts. If otherwise, I'm going to hold them open for a little while until we get above that level. So yeah, swag, Zach will definitely be doing that. I'm gonna probably give you guys a link just to order it yourself, because it'll be too time consuming me for to actually ask. Can't even talk, to ask for everybody's address and personally mail stuff out to you. So, but we will get something worked out there. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you. Sharon says hers is pending. I will keep looking. I mean, I did just accept everyone. Let me just refresh. No more message requests. Everyone was accepted. So maybe refresh on your end. Share. I got Shannon or Sharon? Sharon. All right, guys, we'll get it worked out. I apologize. You can also do this in the main chat. Say Nico sent you a DM and just tag me. Like just type my name, at Nico, and it will, and then tag me in that message, and I'll see it and I'll go look for it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I will see you on the live call tomorrow. If you want to be on the tomorrow night's webinar, just come on. You guys are welcome to. You don't have to, of course, that's for the public, but you're welcome to join. And I will be trading live. Either way, you'll get some more trade time.